Welcome to Redvee TV, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2026 season. It is 3 weeks to go, Kevin, until we're stood on a rainy terrace at Warrington. And with 21 days to go, it can only mean one thing.
It's Noah Stevens.
The artist formerly known as Redvee's Noah Stevens. Unfortunately, we are not sponsoring Noah for the 2026 season, as despite him making four less appearances than he did in 2024 and playing less minutes. Unfortunately, his price for sponsorship went up by 50%, which put him out of our price bracket, Kevin.
It did indeed.
We've
It
not
did
got
indeed.
endless pockets, unfortunately, with the site to run, and obviously keeping Redvee afloat. So, whilst we might not be his sponsor, he'll always be our Redvee's Noah Stevens.
He'll always be our man.
And what I would say, Kevin, is despite him only making 10 appearances in 2025, I am hoping the fact that they've moved him up into the next tier bracket of players, first team players, that will reflect on how he is treated this season.
Yeah, same. Um, I think he seems like a Paul Rowley style forward, as in keeping his feet, bulldozing. Hopefully, he can get his hands free. A little tip off pass to your 6, 7, or 9, or whoever's coming up in support, and that will see him leapfrog um, other prop forwards.
Iggy
Because
Parsi, definitely.
Iggy Parsi being one, um, hopefully, and I know Alex Walmsley probably won't thank me for saying this, but because Alex is getting that little bit older, we keep on about rotation. I feel like we are a stuck record going round and round and round about rotation. But you can you can kind of do that transition from Alex being a needed to start every single week to Noah coming in and building up his minutes and getting more appearances. And I'm hoping that the style of play that Paul Rowley has and the fact that he will give youth a chance sometimes, as we've said, it might be forced like last year, but he will give Noah his chance, and we'll see him make more like the 14 going on to the 14 to 20 brackets and appearances next year.
Yeah, I always feel, although it says he made 10 appearances last season. In total, what did the minutes add up to? 3 games worth, 4 games worth? I feel it was a lost season for Noah, and a really
Um,
frustrating one.
yeah, a frustrating one, definitely. I know he got his start against Cass when he rumbled over for his first try in Saints colours. Um, what an evening that was! That was fantastic as his sponsor to be there to see it. Um,
I was
but I
I was
think it
li
would
I was lying on a cold floor on a charity sleep out at Goodison Park.
yes, yeah, you were.
And
I
soon
was
as
sat
soon as I looked at that Saints had scored, I absolutely knew it.
that he went over. But I think going back to your point, I think he will have been frustrated with last year, and I think there's no shaming if he's frustrated with last year. I think he was better than Iggy, and I think he deserved more minutes and more of a chance, and just didn't get it. And I'm not saying that as someone who, listen, we're friendly with Noah now after being his sponsor. I'm not saying that just as a sponsor. I'm saying that as a Saints fan,
I'm
as
saying that as a
what.
man who's got eyes and watched the games.
Yes, yeah. In that, I want everyone who pulls on a Saints shirt to play well, but sometimes others deserve the chance before the person who's incumbent in the shirt.
I would love to have an honest conversation with Paul Wellens now that like all the dust has settled, and ask how he reflects on some of his choices from last season. Obviously, Noah got left out in the cold quite a lot, always on the fringes of the 21, while Stiggy Parsi got played week in, week out, but then got binned off at the business end when it actually mattered. And does he regret the decision to stay loyal to some of his senior players who, or experienced players who simply weren't performing for him? And ultimately, does he think if you had to answer, and I didn't listen, I know he wouldn't because he would never throw players under a bus. But deep down inside, with those players, some of the reasons he lost his job.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, we've got to remember, obviously, Noah had his injury as well last year, where his thumb and his hand was all smashed up after a training incident. Um, I say smashed up like it was he got it caught in a piece of clothing, another player's clothing in a tackle, and it shattered. Um, yeah, not great. But your point is absolutely right. I wouldn't expect Paul Wellens to throw um, players under the bus. I just think that if we're looking at it from the outside and you're looking at some of the performances that we saw from some of the experienced players, you could argue that staying more loyal to them because they've got, as Sean Wayne would put it, credit in the bank. They
Like
kind of used,
Bearings Bank,
oh, oh yeah,
one for the
they
granddads.
used it. Not only did they completely use it up, they went straight into overdrawn and then defaulted on payments.
What was the banker's name? Nick, whatever his
Nick
face.
Leeson,
Nick Leeson.
Nick Leeson.
Another one for the granddads. Um, Even when Noah was on the bench last season, I thought it was very predictable of when he would actually come on, get 10 minutes and taken off. And it never actually helped him develop. Never
Yeah,
got
I think
he never got able to get into games and develop his fitness just from
yeah,
not playing.
he ended up having a very set role, didn't he? Where he kind of come on in the second half, especially, and do a stint in the second half, but that was it. And I think that's possibly where some frustration will come. That yeah, it's great because you get fit for that. Well, sometimes 7 minute spell, sometimes 15, sometimes 20 minute spell. But is that where you kind of want to be, or do you want to be? You know what? You'd rather do that in a. I have 5 minutes at the end of the first half, 5 minutes at the start of the second half. Then I come on again later on in the game when we're tired. Would you rather do it that way? I think Saints fans we'd like the young lads who come through to represent the team. We like them getting given a chance. I think Saints fans will be frustrated with the year that Noah had last year as well.
I want Noah to be pushing 18 to 20 appearances at least this season.
Yeah, as I say, between the 14 and 20 mark, he's got to be aiming for somewhere like that.
And
Um,
proper minutes in them appearances as well. 20, 25 minutes at least a game.
yeah, but
Two
hopefully
stints.
he's got a smile on his face, and listen, he can start. Noah can start games. It, you don't necessarily have to have your forwards, your first set of forwards, get into half time. You don't have to do that. If you need a big body in there early doors, Noah can do it. Um, but yeah, I think the 14 to 20 is definitely an achievable target for Noah, and hopefully he's got a smile on his face and he's playing with a bit of joy in his system this year.
Excellent. And he can ignore his football team. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will catch you tomorrow as we get down to our number 20. Catch you soon.